Do I look like Steve Jobs? That's kind of what I was not going for. Hey guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and today I'm sitting down with one of the largest typewriters in my collection. This is my Olivetti Linea 98 from 1972. Now, I posted some pictures of this machine on my Instagram a few weeks ago, and somebody actually commented that they wanted to see this typewriter in a type test. So I decided to sit down and try it out again. But what's really cool about this typewriter is it's got a little bit of an interesting history with me personally. So when I started collecting typewriters, I told everybody around me that I was interested in typewriters, and then all of a sudden I was getting lots of free broken typewriters just shoved in my car by people, and this was one of those typewriters. My mentor, who also gave me my classic 12 Smith Corona typewriter, his mother had worked in a post office for a very long time. When they shut down the post office, she stole one of the typewriters and took it home with her. This is that typewriter. It sat in her basement for a very long time, and then when I started collecting typewriters, they unearthed it and threw it in my 26-year-old car. And I took it home, and suddenly I had a monster on my hands. Now, when I started working on this typewriter, I had done 0 typewriter repairs before. In fact, I got this right after putting back together my Royal Victory, my Royal H typewriter, so I had known a little bit of how to fix typewriters, but I was by no means an expert, and this was one of the first monsters I had really tried to work on. And what we noticed pretty quickly about this typewriter was that the drawband was not attached, and it was not working in any capacity. Now, you know my history with drawbands. It's my least favorite thing to mess with, but this one was especially different because the actual mainspring inside the drawband was snapped. So it wasn't just not working because the string was snapped, it was not working because the actual metal spring inside of the drum that provides that tension on the drawband was snapped in half. So this has a metal band on it to act as that carriage string. We tried attaching that a couple times, it just kept falling off, it was not retracting properly, so we decided to take the typewriter apart. We looked inside the typewriter at that mainspring drum, decided that we wanted to check that and see what was wrong with it. We opened it up and the spring popped out, and a couple places in it were snapped, and it was broken in a few places. So what we had to do was actually remove the temper of the steel of that spring, which is just a really long piece of metal coiled up and providing that tension around the inside of the drum. We removed the temper from the breaking point in the spring, then we bent a new bend in it so that we could attach it to the drum piece inside the typewriter, and then put it back together, which took a lot of effort, and then we were able to actually put the drawband back on the carriage and it began to work again. In addition, it also needed some cleaning because it was really dusty and dirty and kind of a different color, and then I kind of set it off to the side. It was working again, and I had finally figured out how to put a ribbon on it because that took me a while. But it just wasn't my favorite thing to play with because it took so long to figure out how it worked and how to put it back together, and I had 30 other typewriters to play with. It just never got a lot of use. But it did earn the nickname Bear and the name Orso, which is Italian for bear, because of how much of there's not another word for it, a bear it was to fix and move around because it's really heavy. So it sat for about a year, and then I decided to pass it on to another person. It was time for it to find a new home because it just wasn't getting much use out of me and my other collection of typewriters. So I did decide to post it for sale on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. And if you've seen my selling my typewriters video, you'll know that this typewriter actually got sold and went somewhere else. I was able to sell it to someone on OfferUp who was looking for a present for a writer for their engagement party. So this typewriter went away for a while. Then 3 months after selling it, I was scrolling through OfferUp again because I kind of do that religiously, even though I've never purchased anything off of there. And I saw a posting for an Olivetti Linea 98. And I said, wow, that kind of looks like my typewriter. And then I zoomed in on the picture and realized it was my typewriter. And the way that I could tell was that there's actually a star sticker here on the power space button that was on the machine when I got it and stayed on the machine when I sold it. So I looked at the posting, realized it was the same person I had sold the typewriter to in the first place, and messaged them and told them that I would happily take that typewriter back if they were just trying to get rid of it, because that's what a good foster mom does. I messaged them. They actually told me that they were moving across the country, so they couldn't take a very large typewriter with them, and then proposed that I trade a different typewriter for them to get this one back. And what I ended up doing was trading them my 1950s Royal Aristocrat Georgiana that was also a pain in the butt to fix, and they were able to take a portable with them, and I was able to get back my monster. And I was totally okay with that trade, very happy to get rid of that typewriter, which also had a drawband issue. So that typewriter went off across the country. I think she lives in Boston now, and my bear came back home. And then it sat for a while because I didn't know what to do with it. So then I decided to sit down and write a pen pal letter on it, and that's a really great way for me to test my machines. And I actually kind of fell in love with the typing on it, which made me wonder why I had never tried it before. What's really interesting about the Olivettis, and this one in particular, I don't have any other Olivettis in my collection, but the Olivetti company, which is in Italy, was really focusing on the design features of a typewriter. Rather than the functions and the mechanics of it, they were really interested in making designs that were really different and made their typewriters stand out across the board. We had that American style of typewriters, especially in the 50s, of that Smith Corona design from the 5 series, and none of the Olivetti typewriters look like that. They're much more geometric looking. The Olivetti company itself also makes other products, including calculators, and I think now they make laptops and cell phones, but in the excuse me, you can't dig through that. That's not your box to dig through. You can't just go digging through all my stuff like that. One of the previous directors of the Olivetti company actually won a design award for industrial aesthetics. So that really shows you how focused that company was on the design aesthetics of typewriters rather than their functions. One of the most famous models of typewriters ever is actually the Olivetti Valentine, which is a very expensive, very bright red typewriter that has such a different design to it that really makes it stand out amongst the competition of other portable typewriters. In 1959, Olivetti actually acquired the Underwood Company, which was an American brand of typewriters, and they actually changed a lot of the designs of the Underwood typewriters as well. So portables coming after 1959 from Underwood were labeled as Olivetti Underwoods, and they had such a different design feel to them than any of the other Underwood portables before them. What's also interesting about this specific model, the Linea 98, and mine in particular, was that it was actually designed and crafted in the British Olivetti Limited Company warehouse and factory, which is in England. This was actually made in Glasgow, and I actually found a blog post which was really interesting from a man whose father worked in the Glasgow Olivetti factory with some pictures, and I've included that link in the description below. That factory belonged to Olivetti until about 1981, when they sold it to Smith Corona, their big American competition, and then that factory was closed in 1983, and then the building was demolished in 1989. But the label on mine says it was made in England, that British Limited Olivetti logo, and on that logo is the royal seal, and it also mentions the Duke of Edinburgh on my specific logo. I found this blog post from Oz Typewriter, who also had an Olivetti. He had an Olivetti Linea 88, which is the model before the 98, my model, and he mentioned that a lot of the logos that are from British companies at this time did not mention the Duke of Edinburgh, so it was kind of cool that mine was made in England even though it's an Italian typewriter, and also included a reference to the Duke of Edinburgh. So that's a little bit about the Olivetti company and this bear of a typewriter. There's no other word to describe it. I sat down and decided to test it out for you in a type test, so here's a little footage of that. Some of the functions on this typewriter that are interesting include that it has a function called repeated spacing, which is just power spacing, as Smith Corona calls it, and that allows you to hit this button and it just enters a bunch of spaces all right in a row. It also has a dejammer key, like my Smith Corona Galaxy 12, and it also has the function to go back and type over mistakes you have made and put in new letters. Kind of like correction tape, but not exactly. And supposedly it also has a removable platen, which is one of my favorite things on typewriters, but I haven't tried that yet. So that's a little bit of a story of how I came to get this typewriter, how it went away for a while, and then came back to rest in my collection again. I'm really excited about it because I had never sat down and honestly tried it for any extended period of time. And once I did, I actually really liked the typing functions of it, and I think it looks so different from any of the other typewriters in my collection. This one's from 1972, and I don't have any other big machines from 1972, but I have machines from the 1950s and from the 1930s, and the design of this is so different. Starting with the color, it's in this beautiful silver finish. All of my other big manual desk typewriters are kind of gray or black or brown. They're kind of these boring colors. But this silver finish really makes this typewriter stand out, as do the additional boxy design elements on this machine. I just think it looks so different from anything else I've ever seen. And if you look at any of the other typewriters in the Olivetti line, they look a little crazy. So that's a little bit of a story about the bear of my collection, my 1972 Olivetti Linea 98. What a mouthful. I want to hear a little bit more about the typewriters in your collection. Do you have any Olivetti typewriters? Do you have any typewriters that you sold and then somehow ended up back in your house? Let me know in the comments below. I've also included some links to research that I've done on the Olivetti company and this Linea 98 model in general in the description below. I have other videos on this YouTube channel if you're interested in typewriter content, and I have an Instagram at just.my.typewriter. I want to thank you all so much for watching and remind you, you're just my type writer.